The most recent movie in the Alien movies is probably the most controversial of them all. The film was supposed to be a prequel that essentially explores the origins of the space jockey from the original movie. Fans were incredibly excited as Ridley Scott, director of the original, would be directing the movie. Finally, it was released as Prometheus, and a lot of fans absolutely hated it. In fact, most fans absolutely hated it. A lot of fans were angry at how it lacked a lot of answers and essentially asked loads more questions so they could get another sequel out of it. I was personally really looking forward to it, however I never saw it in the cinema after hearing the massive backlash against it. I waited until the Blu-ray release and bought the massive deluxe version that comes with all the deleted scenes. I knew that if I didn't like the movie, I could always just watch the deleted scenes and hopefully certain things would make more sense. When I finally watched the movie, I was incredibly surprised. I didn't understand the backlash at all. I honestly really liked it. Since I first watched it, I've seen it a second time and also read a lot of people's reviews, and I do understand why people hated it. However, I just can't help but really like it. The plot is kind of hard to follow at times, so I'll try my hardest to explain it. The film is about a group of scientists who have been travelling in stasis on their way to find humanity's forerunners, the Engineers. The film mainly follows Elizabeth Shaw, played by Noomi Rapace of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo fame. The film also follows an android called David, who is played by Michael Fassbender. The team arrive on a distant moon and explore a large artificial structure. Inside they find stone cylinders, a massive stone head, and a decapitated corpse of an engineer. Shaw grabs the decapitated head and David secretly grabs the stone cylinder. In their lab they discover that the engineer's DNA matches that of humans. David then discovers a black slime inside of the cylinder. See what effect the slime has on humans, he slips it into Shaw's boyfriend's drink. Shaw and her boyfriend, known as Holloway, then have sex. The team then return to the sculpture, but Holloway starts to get really sick. Vickers, who is played by Charlize Theron, refuses to let Holloway on board. And then at his request, Vickers burns Holloway to death. Shaw is then given a medical examination and it's discovered that she's pregnant despite the fact she is sterile. Fearing the worst, she has an automated surgery table to have it removed. This scene is disturbing and kind of hard to watch. This is the only scene that really unnerves me every time I watch it. Then Holloway comes back to life as a horrible mutated creature and starts killing people before he's essentially killed for good. Of course that was a bit pointless, but whatever. Shaw then discovers that Weyland, leader of the operation and of course co-owner of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, the company from the previous Alien movies, is actually alive after people were told that he was dead earlier on. Weyland is hoping that the Engineers will be able to prevent his death from old age. Then a group of people including Shaw, David and Weyland go back to the sculpture where they find an engineer who has been placed in stasis. David tries to talk to the engineer, but the engineer doesn't want to listen and he tries to kill everyone. The last 10 to 15 minutes of the film is them trying to stop the engineer who is going to release the black slime on planet Earth. The plot, as you can probably tell, is almost non-existent. Lots of stuff in the film happens and lots of significant things happen, but it really does just feel like 2 hours of setup for a climax that never quite happens. The characters are incredibly bland and have barely any personality at all. Another big problem is how they are incredibly confident that there is going to be a sequel. Since there is almost definitely going to be one, I can't be that angry about this, but I hate it when movies instantly expect that they're going to be successful and so they try and set up a franchise. For example, The Last Airbender. With this movie, they basically only give us the tip of the iceberg and promise to give us the rest in later sequels. This isn't a big problem, but I definitely feel like we should have gotten a little bit extra after waiting so many years to have certain questions answered. The style and art design of the movie is literally incredible and it fits in with the tone of the original movie really well. There are some absolutely breathtaking visuals in the movie. For example, the opening scene of the movie. I have no idea what's happening in the opening, but it looks beautiful. The last 20 minutes of the film is really exciting, even if it does drag itself out a bit too much and has a lot of insanely dumb moments. I mean, why would you run in the direction of a falling ship when you have plenty of room on the left and right of you? I love how Ridley Scott expands upon the universe of Alien, and I think that the film fits in with the mythology of the Alien movies almost perfectly, as well as offering new ideas. Overall, Prometheus is nowhere near as bad as people say it is, but it's not the film that it should have been. I give Prometheus an 8.5 out of 10. The Alien series is probably the highest rated film series I've done on this show. They all got high ratings because I love the movies. Each movie is awesome in their own little way. The third film onwards are nowhere near perfect, but they're still good movies in their own right. Right, before getting to the Predator movies and of course the crossover movies, I'm going to rank the Alien movies from worst to best. The fifth and worst in the franchise is Alien Resurrection. Number 4, Alien 3. Number 3, Prometheus. Number 2, Alien, and the number 1 and best in the franchise is Aliens. Right, I have no time to waste, so let's get back into the next part of these reviews. Come back tomorrow for my reviews of the Predator movie.